Okay, that's the bells of my parents' grandfather clock, which hopefully is going to a different sibling at the end of the day. Okay, everyone, and welcome. We are famous or infamous as Jews for laughing in the face of crisis and challenge, and so we've been sharing a little gallows humor and just stress relief. But I know that we're all under a lot of stress, and maybe no more so, even though you have smiles on your face and you look incredibly comfortable there, Cathy and Rabbi Bregman. And sorry, I forgot the name of Ita's nephew.
Shahar.
Shachar. Yes, I'm familiar with the names. Are with you there in Israel, although you're not in Tel Aviv, you're outside of Tel Aviv now. And thank you for joining us. And thank you, everybody that's online. We are recording this. And you're certainly welcome to ask questions in the Q&A. We're using this webinar format, so the Bregmans cannot see or hear you, but we'll be able to answer your questions if you type them into the Q&A. So I guess, Rabbi and Cathy, tell us a little bit, I think we kind of know, but for those that don't, why are you there right now? And where are you right now? And then we'll dive into more detail.
So we came over to France to do a wedding for a former bar mitzvah, a student of ours, Benji Lipsy, and it was in Provence. And when he invited us to go, Cathy and I had the discussion, looked at each other and said, well, we're 80% of the way there, so let's go to Israel and we'll do some volunteering and so on. And that was the plan, and that continued to be the plan. Until early morning of Friday, June 13th, 6:13, when we were awoken with in our hotel in Tel Aviv and told to get to the Mamad, which was just down the hall, the safe room. And then the details started to unfold as to what actually was happening and what had happened previously in the hours before that. With Israel going in and now trying to neutralize Iran and their nuclear capability. And from that night on, we have been in either a safe room, or here we're in Ra'anana, outside of Tel Aviv, and at my son-in-law's brother's sister-in-law's family. Wonderful place, and we spend some quality time in their shelter with the family right beside us. It's closed quarters, and we sit there and wait for the all clear, which usually comes anywhere between 10 and 15 minutes after, sometimes 20 minutes after we've been in, and then we go out, and then we wait for it possibly to happen again, as it did last night twice. So,
and I want to make sure people are aware that it's 7:15 or so in the evening there, and it's maybe a little early for the missiles, but it's possible that you could get interrupted and need to go to the Mamad at any time, and so we'll be sensitive to that. Now, Cathy and Rabbi, you've been to Israel dozens, if not hundreds, more than 100 times. I don't know. We've all lost count. But Rabbi, you posted that this was the first time that you've been there during sirens or having to go into a shelter, I guess. Cathy, how's this been for I'm just turning to you because Philip's in front of the screen, but I want to get your answers also. How has this experience been for you so far?
It's very interesting. On the one hand, there's a certain measure of anxiety, certainly at first, but after a while you kind of get used to it, and you learn to get up and put on your shoes and something so that you'll be comfortable in the mamad or the shelter and get there as soon as possible and sit there. Everybody has their phones and everybody's looking at their phones, just sort of waiting for the all clear. And after a while, it just becomes kind of automatic. And when we were in Tel Aviv, there were a lot of very interesting people gathered in our hotel. So the conversations in the mamad were always quite surprising. People from Scotland, someone from Portugal, all there for particular reasons. And so there's conversation and you kind of make friends. And then everything goes back to normal until the next air raid, and you start all over again.
What we found for us so incredible was how calm everyone was on that Friday morning and subsequent. There's no yelling, there's no screaming, there's no honking of horns. It's calm. And people know that this is something that is happening, has to happen, and they go on with their life.
To the extent that we were staying at a hotel right off Dizengoff Square. And so the first night there were sirens and air raids and you're in the Mamad several times. And by the morning, the candy store across the street was open. It's not an essential service. But,
well, maybe during an air raid it might be.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, but people come out with their dogs, their babies in strollers, having coffee at the cafe. I mean, if you hadn't known what had happened the night before, you would think it was just a normal day. There's something surreal about that, but also very reassuring.
But prior
Shachar,
to
can I
that,
ask? Okay.
prior to, we saw the effects of how tourism is so dramatically down here, because we would walk up the Tayalet, their seawall, and get to the port. And when we've been there in the past, you had to wait 20, 30, 40 minutes to get into a restaurant. Now, no one is there. And other places that we know were tourist attractions, no one's there. Dizengoff is busy because Dizengoff is busy with the Tel Avivians.
Right.
But you're not hearing the languages that you normally hear of English and French and Spanish and so on to the amount that you have in the past.
You wanted to ask Shachar something?
Yeah, I was curious, Shachar, for you and your generation, you know, what the experience has been like. Is it similar to Rabbi and Cathy? Are you seeing anything differently through your eyes?
I mean, the same for me. The same goes for me. When I first came here, I lived in Singapore until last year, and then when we came here, the first few sirens were scary and made us nervous. But you get used to it quite fast, and now you just wake up. It's more annoying than like scary now. Yeah. You wake up at 3 a.m. and then 5 a.m. and then 7 a.m. Like it's not fun, but it's not as scary now.
Right. But it's boring.
Yeah, it's very boring.
It's boring. There's no school. You know, today was the first day that we really got to go out. We took everyone out for ice cream, and it was a thrill to be out on the streets, just, you know, outside of the house and the environs.
Right. See, I said the sweet shops are a necessity. They're you know, they're part of the home front. Yeah. So are people still honoring the home front command's instructions and, you know, going to the shelters? Have people become complacent in any way?
I mean, there are some that don't like go because they think the
rockets?
the army can like deflect all the rockets, and and they count too much on them, and because of that we have a few deaths lately in the past 2 weeks, I think. Yeah,
most of the people who died were not in a shelter.
All of them.
Yes.
We're not in a
All
shelter.
in a shelter.
Right. Except for I think there was one direct hit on a safe room, but yeah. So you've been out in the streets a little bit. Have you seen any of the damage and destruction that's been caused with your own eyes? No.
No.
Because we get a very small aperture. We see, you know, just that image that people post online, and you would think that the whole city looks like that, but you realize it's just a building.
It's one building.
No, when Rotem picked us up the other day, and we were driving from Tel Aviv to Ra'anana, we saw smoke, and then we saw the remnants of a fire. We think it's on the highway. We think that was a hit that we were seeing from about 3 hours earlier, but I'm not exactly sure.
Right, it could just be a construction site, right?
Yeah,
right.
I mean, when we were in Tel Aviv, you would have to leave the proximity to your shelter and walk maybe a couple of blocks away to see where there was a building that was hit. There was a hotel that was hit not far from where we were staying.
And we're not too far. You know exactly where we are, Dan. So we're not that far from Hayarkon to where the branch embassy, American embassy is. And I don't know, had a concussion bomb or something or other the other day. So there were some things were coming into Tel Aviv.
But
Right. I mean, that's a diplomatic
Aviv,
area. The Canadian ambassador's
Yeah.
home is there also. I've been to that.
but in Tel Aviv, when we were in the Mamad, you hear the whoosh of the rockets and the giant boom as it either hits or is intercepted. So, you're not sitting in silence. You're aware of what's going on outside. And some of it sounds very close.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we see these incredible images online of, it could be a laser light show that's going on in the sky. And obviously you've seen
Yeah, I know
that
someone who
yourselves.
took a picture of that.
Well, he was out filming some of it last night before a hand came and grabbed him into the
There are no people who do that.
Yes.
Into the
Wisdom is
shelter.
wasted on the old.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Great pictures, by the way. Thank you.
Well, there
Dad
you go. At least you
posted
should
them.
get photo credit.
Yeah.
So what's the feeling amongst the Tel Avivians, the Israelis? We of course know about the various fractures and fissures in Israeli society before 6/13. The reports that we get is that left and right, religious, secular, everybody is unified and united. Can you give us a flavor for how Israeli civil society is functioning right now and how they're feeling?
How about your friends? I mean, do you talk amongst your friends about this?
We usually get pissed like in the group chats. When there's sirens, we all go in the group chat, and there's always this one kid who starts cursing the Iranians and stuff, and they're all mad because they wake us up, not because it's scary.
It's annoying.
It's really annoying.
So I mentioned that they're not going to kill us via missiles. They're going to kill us through sleep deprivation. My sense in the conversation we've had both in the hotel and here in Ramana with Ada and Rotem, his parents, there's a unity here. This has to be done. This has to be finished. Enough already. I don't know where CNN is getting some of its information, and they keep on repeating it that Iran was some 3 years away. They were not 3 years away. And I was talking to his mom, more like 3 or 4 weeks away from getting to a very critical point. And so this has to happen. And we're going, right now, we're going to have to leave.
Okay.
Sorry.
So we'll pause it here, and we'll keep it open if you come back, God willing, safely and everything. Okay, we'll keep it open.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
You can all
I don't know.
talk.
Well, do you want me to take the iPad with me? And
No, you can point
If it'll stay connected.
I'm sorry.
Or you take it outside.
If it'll stay connected, sure. What I
Okay,
want you most
so
to do is get to safety. That's what I want you most to do.
this is a real live experience.
We paid extra. We paid extra for this.
And,
We paid extra for the Iranians to do this so we could get the real live experience.
Yeah. So they're now giving us a 10-minute. That was a 10-minute warning, and then we're going to go into this shelter, which is right next to the house. It's very small, and I'm going to show you here. I don't know how and there's just some seats here, enough for everybody. The 7 of us. Well, there's you have 7 of us, and then there's a family next door, a mother, father, and 2 kids, and they'll come in.
So it's shared. It's shared between the two.
It's just shared between the two houses, and so we're outside, just waiting till we get the next.
Now, this is fairly typical of suburbs of Tel Aviv and non-high-rise buildings where they have an
Yes.
outside shelter, but in larger apartment complexes, the shelter is usually in the apartment itself. There's a safe room in the apartment.
It could be. Yes, it could be.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's, or it might be in the basement, or yeah, there could be a safe room right in the apartment itself. So yeah, just walking around, showing you. Oops. This is their backyard. They have, and you know, there's no scurry of activity. People will just, as a matter of course, say, "Okay, we're going inside," and wait and see.
Now that notification came on your phone. That notification came on your
Yes.
phone. There wasn't a siren yet.
Yes,
In the neighborhood. Mhm.
Yeah, it came in absolutely.
Right.
We have this thing called Homefront Command.
Right. Mhm.
And notification, and it came in at 7:28 our time, and my zone here is Renana, and it says in your area next few minutes alerts are expected in your area, and that's what it looks like on your phone. And some people might have it in Hebrew.
Right.
And
or Arabic too. They put the alerts out in Arabic as well.
Or French, or yeah.
Mhm.
And I'm just seeing here from Times of Israel, it said the IDF has something or other. Yeah. Just a second.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. So there's a chance that this could clear also, that they may give an all clear. There's a chance there could be an all clear even before they sound the sirens.
It's possible, but I doubt it. I doubt it.
When we're in the shelter,
yeah,
I don't think we should continue. It's not fair to the other family.
Yeah. So when we go into the shelter, we'll probably close off.
Yeah, no, we will close off for that.
Because of confidence. Yeah,
Can you show us the alert screen again? Somebody wants to see the alert screen again. Yeah. And for those that want to live vicariously through the Bregmans, you can download the Hoben Command app and set your location to Tel Aviv or Renan and be woken up at all hours of the day and night.
That's right. Just like my son does, who generally texts me, WhatsApp me. Actually, he seems to get the information before I do.
Right.
He said sometimes, seriously, it's like 5-10 seconds. He'll say, "You going in?" And it's boom. I said, "Yeah, but yes."
But you're not rushing into the room right now, and it doesn't seem like the other family is either.
No, we're waiting.
You're just standing by the door.
We're waiting for the second alarm.
Okay.
This is get ready, people.
Okay.
And they changed it. It was a 30-minute signal, and now it's a 10-minute signal. And it's interesting because the home front has also just today loosened up some of the restrictions of where people can gather. They're now allowing certain gathering to happen. So
I know that on 6/13, which was Shabbos, of course, the religious authorities had said not to go to synagogue. I assume
absolutely
that's changed, or are they still not having people gather?
I don't know. Because as I say, here it is. It's what's today? Wednesday.
I think so. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, where I am. Yes. So I haven't heard whether or not they're going to lift that restriction or not. What
now, of course, one of the concerns,
what Rotem told me, is that on here people did gather in the street for Kabbalat Shabbat. They didn't gather in the synagogue, but they gathered as many as they could and had a, at that point they could very briefly run to their mamad as needed be.
Now, of course, one of the concerns is not just the direct impact of the Iranian missile, but the debris that falls from the interception, both
question.
from the Arrow missile or the Iron Dome or the projectile that was fired itself.
No question.
Right?
No question.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
Right.
and I have to tell you, in case we don't get to the questions or something, one of the most frustrating things here is every 3 seconds hearing what Trump is saying. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. And it's tremendously frustrating. And we know that he's in the midst of a major battle with members of his party, of those like Tucker Carlson, who want complete and total isolationism and don't want to help Israel. And then you've got other individuals like Lindsey Graham who are saying, no, let's finish it off, and so on. But it's back and forth. And, so a lot of
Philip,
the
you said,
alerts. Go ahead.
Yeah, you had said that now it's more of an annoyance, and Shachar has talked about sleep deprivation, but in the first days nobody knew that what was to come, and so the fear amongst the Israeli population must have been significant in those first days.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm old or foolish or a combination thereof. I wasn't afraid. We read very early on what had happened and how the Mossad had infiltrated, and that this whole thing was in the planning for years and years and years. I don't know that my trust is foolhardy. I really don't think it is. This is one incredible country. It has its issues, it has its problems, as every country does. But boy, when it comes to protecting its individuals, and that's why October 7th was such a disaster, because there was that tremendous failure. This time, they're making sure that does not happen for the most part.
So most of this has been, the Israeli Air Force, and I guess the cyber units doing their work, and Mossad and intelligence. Has there been a mobilization of the ground troops in any way? Have there been call-ups for Miluim, for reservists to assemble?
There has been a call-up for Miluim, for reserves to come, but I didn't see any troop movements whatsoever when I was in Tel Aviv. I'm now in a neighborhood, so I'm not going to see it now. But no, that I haven't seen. One of the things about the 100,000 plus Israelis who are trying to get back to Israel is that a number of them are reservists who want to try and get back here ASAP.
Right. And those repatriation flights just began. The other day. I saw one.
Exactly. And so we're seeing it. It's going to take a while for all of that to clear out. First of all, I don't know if the people are aware, but all of the El Al planes were taken out of the country. So they were all taken out of the country, and they were sitting in other airports around the world, so that if chas v'shalom something happened at Ben Gurion, transport would not be affected. If they needed to start doing mass evacuations or so on. So those planes are now slowly making their way back to where the Israelis are. Okay.
Oh, you gotta go. You gotta go.
Okay, but we're about to go into the thing, and I'll let my family know when we're out. Okay.
Okay. We'll end the Zoom here.
Be well.
We'll end the Zoom. Okay. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, everyone. Well, that was shorter than I had anticipated, but also, as I indicated, that was quite possibly what could happen. And we pray that not only Rabbi Bregman and Cathy and their family, but everybody in Israel is safe in this latest barrage. Um, I'm not sure I'm in a position to answer any of the questions. Well, there's only one now in the queue because I'm not there on the ground. But as has long been said, I am in the. I guess I am in the West, and my heart is in the East, as is for so many of us. So we will post this up online, and if Rabbi Bregman can provide more context after he gets out of the shelters, God willing, everybody is safe. We'll share that with the community as well. I will be back at the congregation beginning of July, hopefully going back to Israel July 12th for a Hartman Fellowship for about 10 days or so, but we will see. That is up in the air. And for right now, we'll sign off from here, wishing and praying for the safety of the people in Israel. And Am Yisrael Chai. Thank you all.